Will the 3 missing Lily Mine workers ever be found? Is the Lily Mine incident becoming a forgotten tragedy? What is the current financial status of Vantage Goldfield? And how far is the Mineral Resources Department's investigations into the cause of this accident? What time is it? You guessed it right. It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Simpiwe Ngongwane, standing in for Mpoteli. Now, last Friday marked exactly 1 year and 3 months since a container with 3 mine workers inside was swallowed by a sinkhole during a cave-in at the Vantage Goldfield's Lily Mine in Barberton, Mpumalanga. Nkambule, Yvonne Mnisi and Solomon Nyirenda have been trapped since that tragedy occurred on the 5th of February last year. About 130 Lily Mine workers were moved to the nearby Barbrook Mine after operations were suspended after that collapse. Now, Barbrook was put under business rescue late last year after losing millions and millions of rands in revenue due to a decline in gold production. Now, opinions differ on who exactly is obliged to compensate the affected families as well as the workers who survived that accident. Earlier this year, the Mineral Resources Minister Mosebenzi Zwane apologized for failure to provide compensation as initially promised. But what will it take for the families of the trapped Lily Mine workers to find closure? Well, we are live, therefore you can call us and air your views on the following numbers on your screens right now: 089 110 4210, or tweet us your comments. Our Twitter handle is @QuestionTime24. Now, my guests this afternoon are Mr. Godfrey Oliphant, the Deputy Minister at the Department of Mineral Resources, and Mr. Rob Devereaux, the Business Rescue Practitioner. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time, and welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I'm going to pose the question to both of you. I'm going to start with you, Minister. Will the Lily Mine workers ever be found?
We've got no choice. We've got to find them. Our efforts are such that we know at least that they are there, and that we've been working very hard together with the affected stakeholders to find solutions to get to that container. So we shall not rest until that matter is concluded.
Yeah. Rob?
Certainly the Minister is quite correct. We had a visit by the DMR, of which the Minister was present, where we looked at the possibility of going down in November of last year to see if it was possible to retrieve that container. We had cameras underground, and with all stakeholders we agreed that it was unsafe to go underground. But as the Minister said, the plan is to retrieve it. It's part of the business rescue plan. So the finances in terms of that plan are in place to retrieve the container, and the plan is in place to retrieve the container. So yes, absolutely.
So there have been other collapses prior to the February 2016 incident. So why isn't the mine taking a different approach to preventing such incidents from happening? Or is the mine waiting for other miners to lose their lives?
No, the other collapse was in the proximity of the existing collapse, was probably about 20 meters away. It was something that was expected in terms of the geological shifts. But if you look at the plans to reopen the mine, the new decline as well as the new mining areas are far away from the existing collapsed or compromised area. So, this is a plan that's also discussed with the unions, the workers. The DMR are involved in those plans, and we have, with management, the utmost in our minds, the safety of workers. So it is a way, and we believe it's the correct place to start mining.
But then, Rob, AMCU lawyer Mr. Richard Spoor did advise that the crown pillar was inadequately designed. Surely the company would have done something about this.
I think that is subject to an investigation. That investigation is ongoing, and there's an inquiry, and it is speculative to make any wild assumptions. We need to wait for that process to be completed, and the results will then be public.
All right, let's take your calls. We've got Jan from Wheatbank. A very good afternoon to you, Jan.
How are are you, man?
Great, how are you? What's in your mind?
I'm okay, man. It's a painful story about Lillian. But my question is one. It's regard with the incident, where I will say, when the incident happened, where was the civil engineering? Why we didn't pick it up that we've got a problem on the soil? And the second thing is it's painful because it's the life of a human being. And now everyone is backing off in terms of recovering the bodies. It's one of the things that is painful, and I wish if maybe these guys, they can pay attention on it, recover the body, at least the family to get closure for that.
All right, Jan, thank you so much for your time and for your call. Rob, where was the civil engineers, and why didn't they anticipate such a tragedy?
In my investigations, and certainly the investigations that will be done in the courses of the collapse, my investigations show that there were regular inspections by independent rock engineers, and the cause, there was no reason to expect that collapse. Now, that's what I found. I'm not an engineer, a rock engineer. I'm an accountant and a business rescue practitioner. So it is for the process to go through with the inquiry and the investigations to have that outcome. All the specialists are there, and that will show the outcome there. Obviously, the law takes cognizance of negligence, so let the law take its course. Regarding the bodies, yes, it is a very sad state of affairs. We recognize that there is danger in retrieving the containers, and it's not our intention to put further lives at risk, but the cost of getting to that container is in the region of 130 million rand. Right. That is the only way we can get it. Now, with Barbrook going into rescue, as well as Lily in rescue, that 130 rand, in terms of a package deal, is a much bigger number of 330 million rand.
Yeah,
so
which the company doesn't have at this point.
Correct. The company doesn't have it, and it's a big number for any investors. So you know, people don't have the money lying around. So you need to look at institutions, banks, the IDC, and the likes who would assist with that.
Well, Deputy Minister, I'll engage you on that one shortly, but then let's take another call. We've got Moketsi. A very good afternoon to you, Moketsi. All right, we seem to have lost Moketsi. We'll certainly hope that he will call again. Now, Deputy Minister, about the offer that the government will pay 50,000 rand to the surviving members, or rather surviving Lily Mineworkers, and about 200,000 rand to the families of those who are still trapped. Who made the commitment?
My understanding was that the commitment was made by both the mine and the minister after they have discussed it. I went to Lily Mine when 6 months passed without action. We discussed it with the business rescue practitioner, and they were still raising funds, and the mine took over that thing to say that they will pay it after they've raised the funds. When we went for the second time, they gave us a date, and that date was last year in November to pay the families, and in December to pay the remaining people who were rescued.
So you are exonerating the government from this?
I'm not exonerating the government. I'm saying that it's a commitment that was made. Whether it was made by the minister or the mine, it was a commitment that both of them shared. But then clearly the mine could not raise that fund. I went there with the president of the Chamber of Mines again to check what the problem is. And we went back to the IDC, which was and still committed to helping the mine in terms of funding, which is a government institution. Okay. And I was assured that that matter will be closed hopefully before Friday, hopefully. But maybe Mr. Deveru could confirm that. What we did was to raise funds as well for those people. We approached, let me take responsibility, I approached the Chamber of Mines, and they committed 600,000, which means that is 200,000 per family as promised. Okay. And I went to the IDC, they committed 800,000, and the Rand Mutual Assurance committed 100,000.
Have you made a follow-up on that? When are
The money has been paid already into the account that needs to be dispersed. The account that we're using is the account of the compensation commissioner in the health department, because they've got the system to disperse the funds.
Mm-hmm.
I think between Friday last week and today or tomorrow, they were engaging especially with the families to pay the money.
Right.
So the money is there. I have signed off on Friday because they gave me to just check that the account numbers are correct and all that, and so on. Now, we are going to pay each family 200,000, which if not paid already, and then the other ones, the 75 that were trapped, we were going to pay at least 10,000 each for now.
Right.
But now we have established, because out of the 75, the only ones that we could verify the account numbers is the ones who worked for the mine. It is 58 of them.
Okay.
They should be paid also in this week, 10,000 each, and the rest I'll tell you about it. The others were contractors.
Okay, please hold your thought. Now, Rob, you've just heard the Deputy Minister say that it was a collective decision that that all the families be paid. But then you told the Parliament Portfolio Committee on Mineral Resources early this year that the company took no such decision.
Well, the investigations that I had was that a commitment was made by government, and the company then assumed that commitment, and that's what I said last time on question time. And I don't want to get into the nuances of that, because that has implications. And what I also did say in the Portfolio Committee meeting was that as the business rescue practitioner, I accepted that liability and committed to pay the 200,000 to each family and the 10,000 to every trapped 50,000, sorry, Minister, to every trapped miner. And that exonerates all the parties.
So you never denied before the Portfolio Committee that the company actually made that decision?
No, I stated that my view was that the Minister made that decision, and that thereafter the company assumed the responsibility to pay that. I didn't want to get involved in those debates, and as part of my business rescue plan, I've agreed to pay the 4.3 million to the trapped miners and the 3 families.
Okay.
And I have certain conditions, certain waivers and conditions to that.
Okay.
What we did in trying to resolve this matter, when we went to these people, we're not taking the responsibility. We're saying that we need social relief for those trapped miners' families and those who were rescued. That's how we got the money, and it was not a precedent that we are setting. We knew that there is hardship, and obviously the money is not going to resolve the pain, but we tried to understand that this commitment was made.
Yeah.
When I went to Lily Mine, that was one of the major issues. So we have said that we'll resolve the soft issues, which is the financial matter, in the deal or whatever transaction that they are getting into. Hopefully, and there is commitment, I'm told, Rob can confirm that the rest of the money to pay the remaining amount for those who are trapped to 50,000 would be covered. So there is no need from myself, unless there is anything that comes after Friday that says they could not do it, then we would go ahead to raise money to ensure that before the end of the month, or the end of June at least, everybody has been paid with the money. Our commitment is to deal with this issue so that we deal with the major matter of the tricky geology there and so on, and we've done everything that we could.
Okay.
We sent the mine rescue services, they went there to look into this.
Okay.
The holes, the rescue hole and the ventilation shaft are compromised. Our laws in the country do not allow anybody to go into a situation like that, and so on. So the new plan that has been delayed regrettably, where I think we have failed people, the families here, and also that we understand that the mines went through a difficult time, was to say that we've got to do it properly.
All right.
And that is what I was informed, and it's also confirmed by the business rescue practitioner.
All right.
That's the program that they've got to start very soon.
Okay, unfortunately, please hold your thought. We've got another caller on the line. We've got Michael from Pretoria. Very good afternoon to you, Michael.
Afternoon.
Yes, sir. How are you doing? What's on your mind?
Yes, my question is to the Deputy Minister. I'd like to find out if he were one of the trapped mine workers would he be happy if his family was to receive 200,000 in compensation? And if not, is his life then more important than those lives that are trapped?
All right, Michael, thank you so much for your time. And Minister, you will answer that question, but for now we'll take a short break and we'll be back. And a reminder that you can call us and air your views. The number is on the screen right now, 089 110 4210. Question time. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Did you know that dietary needs are different for small, medium, and large dogs? For a specialized diet tailored to size, choose Pedigree. Pedigree is developed by vets with quality ingredients like fiber to ensure better digestibility, protein that's gentle on the stomach, vitamins for a healthy immune system, and essential oils to nourish the skin and coat. Plus, the kibble is sized for your dog's mouth to help clean and protect teeth. Whether big or small, give them what they need with Pedigree. Brand Power, helping you buy better.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guests this afternoon are Mr. Godfrey Oliphant, the Deputy Minister at the Department of Mineral Resources, and Mr. Rob Devereux, the Business Rescue Practitioner. Before we go on to further questions, we've got Wiseman from PE. A very good afternoon to Wiseman.
Good evening, guys. I almost collapsed to hear that the money is not even paid even today. Deputy Minister, let's just leave that money thing. Now, what I want to know is the family, or particularly the three guys who are dead, the three miners who are still trapped. What is the government doing and the mining company doing to the family of those two? Are they giving something, or are they still waiting for this long process of a payout? Are they still waiting for this thing? What is the company and the government doing? What are they eating during this time while they're waiting? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Wiseman. Now, Minister, before you answer Wiseman, earlier on, before we went to the ad break, we had Michael calling from Pretoria that he said that if you were one of the trapped miners, would you accept 200,000?
No,
as compensation?
No, not at all. And the 200,000 was just a temporary relief. It's not what they are entitled to in terms of the law. The 200,000 was recognizing that they've gone through the trauma, and the commitment was made on the spot on the same day by the minister and the mine. And that has been, that there's been bickering as to who must pay it and so on and so on. Mm-hmm. When we saw that this thing, we must move forward now.
How was it arrived at then?
I don't know. I also heard it from them as well. So it was not even for me to question when I went to the mine, was to say, listen, how do we pay the 200,000? Like I said earlier, the mine said we're going to pay it and this we're going to pay. But then unfortunately, regrettably, they went into difficulty, the gold price and other things that they know better. That's how myself and the Chamber of Mines President, Mr. Teke, agreed that let's go and raise funds, at least as a social relief. Right. The entitlement for people who die in the mines, for instance, they get paid a pension, sometimes a provident fund. The rent mutual assurance has got that, and the pension and or provident fund from the mine. That's separate. This one was just temporary social relief. It was not calculated in any scientific fashion, was to say that let's just ensure that the families don't suffer.
Okay. Rob, are those lives worth 200,000? Who arrived at the decision to
start
paying 200,000 as a temporary measure?
Yeah. No, not at all. As the Deputy Minister says, there was an announcement made of 250,000. How they got to that number, there's no scientific evidence at all. But as the Deputy Minister says, that 200,000 was for hardships or for whatever reason. The company does have a provident fund, pension fund in place, so there's payouts in terms of that for the loss of life to the families. There's insurance from the Rand Mutual Fund. And those are also, and those have been paid out. So those monies are there. And this 200,000 is an ex gratia. So I think we should see it as that. And I would also like to say that the bickering of who said who and who did what, I think we would like to move forward. Certainly as government and the Chamber of Mines, we see working together, solving the issue and moving on. And that's what we've been doing in the last month.
All right, we've got a final call on the line. I hope Peter from Barberton is still on the line. Good afternoon to you, Peter.
Yes, my comment is that our unions, they must do their work. They must force the government, this company, so that they can get the container as quick as possible. So another question is, if they are not getting the container now, when are they going to find it and when that is going to happen? Because money is money, but now we are talking about the human being who went down there. So which means we don't care of the soul, we only care for the money. Thank you.
All right, Peter, thank you so much for your call. Well, Rob, but we do understand that you are paying salaries for the miners who are still trapped, and you do give food parcels to their families on a regular basis. But then how long would that be? Is there a particular time frame? Because there is a danger that once this issue loses momentum and it diminishes in the media space, then you will stop doing that.
Yes. So the food parcels and grants were in conjunction with government, with the Social and Welfare Department, and intervention by the DMR. There was a special committee set up, and that is ongoing. There's support from the unions as well. In terms of payment, we continue to pay salaries up to November of last year, and then Barbrook has gone into business rescue. And as we stand now...
So they're not receiving any salaries now?
No.
No food parcels?
Food parcels would be from government. They don't come from the company.
Okay.
So as it stands, both mines are under what we call care and maintenance. So they are completely closed. They're not generating any income, and they're just secure. In terms of employees, they've effectively been, they can seek work elsewhere. That's where we stand at the moment. And once there's funds to pay the backlog of salaries, we will pay that. And then the agreement we have is that once the mines reopen, those people will be offered their jobs in preference to others.
All right. Now, Deputy Minister, is the Lily Mine disaster becoming a forgotten tragedy? Because there are no conclusive updates from government, and we do understand that the company had actually planned a remembrance day in commemoration of those who are still trapped. But then that remembrance day was since postponed, or it was put on hold, or cancelled totally. We don't understand.
You must understand that this is a very emotive matter. I've been to Lily Mine myself, and I've seen how the families and the comrades behave on this one, because the issue is get them out now. And clearly it was not practical, and we had to just tell the people the truth, to say that there is no one that could be sent underground. We've sent our best rock engineers to go and look at it. We've sent all the specialists to say, look at how best we can do this matter. They all came to one conclusion, that we've got to do a program that will take us not less than 6 months, like originally it was said by the mine. But then the issue was to say, but we must also understand that this mine, and I'm not saying it because we don't want to be involved, we've been trying to help wherever we can, still belongs to Lily Mine. They still hold the license, they still have the responsibility. We as government cannot just go there and do as we please, but we have been working in collaboration with them to find a solution.
Okay.
So the difficult solution to us has not been the money issue.
Unfortunately, you recall, unfortunately, we have to end there. Unfortunately, we don't have much time. But then, Deputy Minister, Mr. Goldfield and Mr. Rob Devereaux, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you.
All right, that is question time for today. A big thank you to my guest and for you at home for watching. Till next time, then, goodbye from Johannesburg.